Hey everyone, and welcome back to yet another round of Mom Q&A with Mamas Uncut, where you send in your anonymous questions about parenting, raising children, motherhood, and we give you the best advice possible. And like we said, your questions always remain anonymous. And I'm back with Lisa and Mindy. How are you guys?
Hi everyone.
Yeah, you guys ready to answer some more questions?
Yep.
All right, let's get to it. My boyfriend and I live together with his 15-year-old and my 8 and 5-year-old. They're all boys. With our arrangement, I buy the groceries. But his 15-year-old won't stop eating. I can't afford to spend almost $300 a week on groceries. I asked him when I bought a box of cereal to eat for breakfast that it's for all of the kids and to not eat it all. But almost 2 days later, it's almost gone. I've talked to him multiple times about this, and I talked to my boyfriend about this as well, and nothing changes. I just can't afford all the food he eats, and he's just flat out not listening about it at all. He even tries to manipulate the little ones into something he wants to do that they don't fully understand, to the point where they almost emptied out their piggy banks so that the 15-year-old could get a Switch. I was able to stop it, but the little ones got mad at me because he said they could borrow it from time to time. I just don't know what to do about this guy. Also, his mom died when he was young, and so everyone coddled him growing up. Any ideas or suggestions?
Okay,
there's in that question.
There's two totally separate issues in that question.
Yeah.
Totally separate issues.
Yeah.
Let's deal with the easy one first. He's 15, and when your other sons get to be 13 and 14, they will have the same problem. My 15-year-old son eats a level of food that continues to blow my mind. Like, the amount of crap he can consume in a single day is it's mind-blowing. And perfect example, he'll have, a super burrito from Chipotle, then we'll go get In-N-Out, and then he'll eat every single granola bar in the house. and there's like cases of them because I always have to have granola bars for the guy. And then and he'll drink 2 gallons of water, and he stopped drinking soda, thank God. But it's just constant. It's like constant stuff in the mouth, and it just never stops. So my advice is, this is a problem that's only going to get worse as the other 2 boys get to be the same age. So kind of get used to it. And my brother was the worst.
My brother still is like that. He just eats.
My mom bought us 1 sugar cereal a month, and it was gone that day because my brother ate the whole box.
What is it with boys and cereal, though? That is
because my husband is still obsessed.
Yeah, if there is cereal in the house, my brother's like, "That's my meal. That's it. That whole box, eat it. That's it." I'm just like, I've never felt that way about cereal. I could let cereal sit in the cabinet for months.
Yeah.
Well, so my son won't eat the cereal with the milk, but he'll eat the whole box of Frosted Flakes, like in the sitting. If let's say we're out of granola bars, then it's the box of Frosted Flakes sitting in his room making a total mess with Frosted Flakes crumbs all over the place. Yeah.
So, it's like I'm looking into my future.
It's a 15-year-old boy thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do. Now, the second issue is a bigger issue. If he's like being manipulative of the other kids, that's a behavioral challenge that definitely needs to be addressed. And I would say that that's a far larger challenge than anything on the food side of things.
Yeah, I agree.
No matter how annoying it can be when there's no cereal left. I get it.
Yeah. I had the thought that maybe if it's too much for her to afford, she should just talk to her boyfriend about this and say, "Hey, our food budget is more now because your son's growing, he's 15. Is there any way we can adjust, and maybe I cover electricity and gas, water, garbage, and kind of adjust around maybe if she's in more of a tight spot with her with her finances." That would kind of make sense to me. But then again, you're right. She's going to have this problem in a few years when she has 2 boys that are going to be teenagers.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I did have a problem with like the coddling when his mom died when he was young. I had a problem with the phrasing of that because it it feels like there's a disconnect between her and her stepson. And I think that's what I see as the main issue here, is that she maybe isn't loving him as much as maybe he needs to be loved. Because he's lost his mom when he was little. That's a big deal. I mean, and I can see him not coddled, but getting more support and, getting more attention maybe because of that when he was younger. And I don't necessarily see that as an issue, but I think that what she needs to do is probably what I'm starting to do with my kids is when I see there's a problem, I just lean into them with love instead of, I mean, you can do consequences. That's obviously we have consequences set up when there's a bad behavior and they break a family rule, but like the manipulating younger brothers, sisters, that's kind of sibling behavior though. I look at that and I think, oh, that's something my sister or brothers totally would have done to me when I was a kid. Like, hey, give me your money and I'll buy this amazing. Like, it's just, I think of that as sibling crap, I guess, but not that it's okay. But I just think that you need to dig in and maybe work on building your relationship with that kid, just because it sounds like she's starting to resent him a little bit. And I don't love that, especially with kids. I think that they need lots of love and lots of support.
Yeah. I think in terms of trying to think of what you can do in order to get the 15-year-old to stop eating, you just can't do that. So So I think what Mindy said, and, maybe the boyfriend taking on the grocery bill for now, and then, her taking on another bill. And then once her kids get to be that age, you figure something out. Maybe couponing. You could start getting coupons, saving money that way in order to get a bigger amount of food. But I agree. My brother and I were like 2.5 years apart, and we would trick each other all the time growing up. Especially, I'm the older sibling, but he's going to school to be a doctor, so he had the brains. So it was usually him tricking me into something ridiculous. So I do think that's just like sibling behavior. But I feel like if she's almost like disciplining for him for his eating habits and then trying to discipline him for actual things, you're almost like doing a disservice to yourself by like putting so much pressure on this eating issue. Whereas like maybe if you were only disciplining him for like manipulating his kids, like he would understand that more and like be more perceptive to like, oh, okay, I shouldn't be like taking money from my younger siblings.